In the previous lesson, we saw how we can get the questions, how we can output them in our HTML, and now it's time to ask and build out the buttons. And then we can attach the scoring and complete our application. So this is working properly. We see we're getting all of this information being returned. We've got correct answer, we've got incorrect answers. So we can basically build out an array with correct and incorrect answers. And that way we can build out the buttons. So we have enough content to build out those buttons. So we are missing one thing, and that's an output area in our HTML to load our button content. So I'm going to create that now. So select, and we'll just call it select answers. And we'll leave that blank. So let's go into our HTML. Let's go into our JavaScript and build this out. So last time we left off building out our HTML object. So now we're ready to update that, and we can leave that, and the next part of it is to build out a function that's actually going to add and build buttons. So let's set that up. So we'll call it question builder, and we'll take in a few parameters. So we'll get the correct and incorrect values. So that's going to be passed into there, and then over here we just need to simply output that. So let's do question builder and pass in that information. So we've got it within an object format. We've got the correct answer, underscore answer. And then we also have an array of incorrect answers. And this one is answers, so it's plural. And we need to attach that object to it as well. So we go. So we've got object incorrect answers, and this is where we're going to build out the question, because we need to attach event listeners to this. So we can't do it in a simple HTML because it doesn't always work great, and then we'd have to run and loop through and add all of our event listeners. So it doesn't always work really well. So we have to build out those elements within JavaScript and loop through them. So now that we're getting this information passed in, let's create an array. We'll just call it holder. And this array is going to get the incorrect values. And for now, let's just console log out that holder array. And this is what we're actually going to work with. So let's refresh and check out our progress. So we click the button and we build out an array. So right now these are all true or false. And we'll get rid of the Boolean value type. So you can also specify that within the object, so they could be true or false, or they could be multiple choice. So it actually doesn't matter, because either way we can build out the array. And notice that we do have one thing missing in the array, and that's the correct answer. So let's add that one in. And we can really easily add that in with JavaScript. So we've got holder using push, and then here is where we specify that correct answer. So we'll add that one in. So click. So there we go. So we've got the correct answer added in along with the incorrect answers. And now let's sort that array. So you can also add in an array shuffle or something like that as well. So for now, we're going to keep it really simple. We're just going to sort the array so the correct answer always isn't the last one, because in this case it is. So we don't want that to happen. We want to have a little bit of randomizing and make it a little bit harder for users to guess. So what it's going to do now, it's just going to sort it in alphabetical order. So just to keep things simple, and of course you can add that in, add functionality in at a later point to randomize the order of the array. So let's try that out now. So refresh. So this time the correct answer shouldn't always be at the end. In that case it was. This case, correct answer is the third one. So that's great. So next, we're ready to actually add this into our HTML. So let's create an object in order to hold that element data. So get element by ID. And the name of the element was select answer. So we'll grab that there just to make sure that we are grabbing the right one. And it was select answers. So it's always good to double check those element names. And what we want to do first off is we want to clear that out. So let's set that inner HTML, and we'll just set it to blank to clear it out, to empty it out. And I know we don't have anything in there, but we are going to be adding all of the buttons, and we don't want the buttons to continuously build up there, so we want to clear that out when we get the opportunity. So the other thing that we need to add in here as well is we want to add in a function that's going to fire off whenever the user clicks one of these buttons, and it's going to send the answer or check the answer. And we're going to grab the information, set it up as an attribute. So for now, let's just log out that event target. And this in JavaScript will simply, because we're adding an event listener to these elements, we can use event target to grab whatever element initiated that event. We're not having any problems, there's no issues, so we're ready to go on to the next lesson. So add this into your application using your editor, and next lesson we're going to dynamically create the buttons with the answers that the user can select. So that's coming up.